All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Heroes World, and everybody standing around is kind of dumbfounded, as I am, watching the wonderfully talented Mr. Ken Lashley doing some sketches and spreading the love of comic books on this free comic book day. This is what it's all about, you know. Comics are literally the greatest thing in the world to share. You show somebody a comic, and they're a fan for life, and Ken has been gracious enough to bring a lot of his art and to spread it around. So I'm just going to talk up Ken a little bit while he's doing what he does best. So I'm going to hit him up with some of the hard questions. So the first one up is, did you like Infinity War?
Okay, so I haven't told very many people, but I work with Hasbro Toys, and I was down 4 months ago, and I'm working on Avengers 4. So when I was there, they rolled out Who Survives to number 4, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just looking for people, right? And it was an awesome experience, but it kind of, I was, the fun of going to the movie and enjoying it was gone, right? And literally, it was like 5 minutes. These are the people that survived. Oh. Okay. And they're like, well, let's. And I go, no, stop for a second.
Let me breathe. Let me breathe.
Let me stop for a second. I was there for a couple of days. It was really fun. I get a chance to see some cool stuff. I saw some cool stuff with the Solo project as well, and Star Wars stuff. So, yeah. But I do this every. I work for Hasbro Toys. There's a lot of cool stuff with them. So they're really kind to me, and they're gracious, and let me behind the velvet rope and see a lot of stuff. And the stuff I was working on was really cool.
Nice.
So. It kind of lost its thing because I know what's going to happen. I know how it resolves. I know how it all works out, right? But I guess it was really good. It was my kids. My kids were like, "Don't tell me." All my friends, don't tell me.
They had you on spoiler lockdown.
No, I wasn't going to tell them anyway, right? So they were going to go in that movie. I remember last time I was up there. Well, I go there fairly often. But I went there last time, and that was right before Force Awakens was coming out. So. When I go, do you want to know something? I go, no. I don't want to know anything. Because I wasn't there for that. I was there for a meeting with another brand, Voltron. I was there for Voltron. So it was kind of, so they were like, do you want to see the Star Wars stuff? And I go, I have absolutely no interest in seeing the Star Wars stuff. So, but then he said, Han Solo dies. And I go, what kind of person are you? Yeah. What kind of person just throws that out at me?
Clearly a Sith.
What was wrong with you, right? But those guys live with it every day, right? So they don't feel it. They don't see it the same way, right?
They're not like in it at that fan level where we just want to digest it. We've been waiting all this time for
cool.
for Marvel.
For sure, man. But it's such a great. So I loved it. I was watching people's responses in the theater, watching my daughter. My daughter cried. But I was like, how could you cry? Your father's in the business. It's gonna resolve itself. I think. I don't want to ruin it, but it was pretty impressive.
And can you drop us a little bit of a hint on what you're working on for Hasbro, or is that one of those 96 things on the confidentiality agreement?
No, I can tell you. I'm doing the package art for X-Men Legends.
Oh, nice.
So I just finished doing a classic '90s superhero. With wings. And
maybe a mutant?
Could be. And then
Mimic, yes.
Good pull.
Good pull. Good one.
But no.
But yeah, so I'm working on that one, and I finished that one. And this week I did another. What? Who would I put on after my cover?
Oh yeah, Black Panther.
Black Manta.
Black Manta. Yes.
But that's up to you. It's yours. Okay.
All right. So the next question is this is going to be a Star Wars question. So
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah. No. Nothing at all. So
I almost grabbed my Star Wars car here. I have a Star Wars car.
Oh, you got to keep the car with all.
No, that's my own. I have a Star Wars car at home.
What? All right, so next time Ken comes, he is going to bring the Star Wars car. So,
yeah, for sure.
So we know this. So if you were a Jedi, what color would your lightsaber be? Told you, tough questions.
I don't know. I probably would be a negotiator. I'd probably be orange.
Nice.
I probably would be that guy.
That's true.
I'm much more of a.
You're a people person.
I'm more of a people person. Although all the Sith have all the cool powers, that's the problem with the Sith.
Yeah.
all the stuff you want to do to people.
Well, what's that? What they say? It's temptation, and it's the dark side. It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
Right. So come on, for a man of talent, you don't take the easy way out, man.
I know. I
So-
gotta do it,
so,
but
yeah.
I'm saying when you play the video games and you play with the Sith side, like they have all the cool stuff, levitating, frying people, and you're like,
Picking up Death
You know,
Stars,
I remember when I was,
TIE Fighters.
I remember and persuade,
Yeah.
persuade. Dude, I just want to do some bad stuff.
Yeah.
I want to be a negotiator who uses lightning.
Yeah.
Wait,
Aggressive
awesome.
negotiations.
Wait.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, I will say one cool thing when I went to Hasbro last time. They had the new Force Effects lightsabers came in. So I was sitting there when they came in and they were looking at them. Okay, you want one of these? And I go, yeah, sure. Kind of question.
How do you say no to that?
Yeah.
Don't ask
It's
me another dumb question while I'm sitting there. So they sent it to me, and it was really awesome. Because they have Hasbro has a store, an in-house store that they do their you can buy stuff, and I think it's like 80% off retail. So everything they sell can go in there. So you buy a bunch of stuff, and I bought a bunch of stuff. So they put my lightsaber and the stuff I bought together, and they shipped it to me, and it didn't arrive.
Uh-oh.
So Hasbro was like, hey, Ken, how's it going? I said, it's pretty cool. They go, you got that package? They go, no. And then it was weird. I guess someone took it. Someone saw Hasbro, and it was
Saw Hasbro, saw a big box.
yeah, and took it. And miraculously, after it was gone for about a month and a half, it showed up at my house 2 days after Hasbro found out it didn't show up at my house. So they must have made a phone call, and somebody got fired somewhere. And some guy who's working at the place said, "Go back to your house, get the box that you took from the loading dock, and bring it back." But it was pretty crazy. And then I had two Force Effects lightsabers in there, so that's why they were asking, because they had put another one in there for me.
Nice.
It was really cool. I mean, Hasbro really cool in that way.
Do you keep all your toys, or do the girls get first dibs?
No, they have to get their own toys.
That's right. That's right. Did you hear that? That's right.
Don't even touch my stuff. Don't even touch my stuff.
Get your own.
I love you, but get out of my office.
Yes, yes.
Are you kidding me?
That's
I have
too funny.
Oh, yeah, you kidding me? I don't. No. They've been enough shows. They should know what's daddy stuff and their stuff.
And their stuff, yeah, and they gotta earn it, right? They gotta earn their toys, right? They gotta earn their toys.
My
Just
kids,
like you were in.
my kids are not really into toys as much, though. Our kids are more into movies and stuff like. They're not really into. We're looking for. They're not really into what I'm interested in, which is awesome. So we don't share.
More for you.
Yeah, we don't share the same. We don't share the same. Oh, I like that. Okay, I'll get one. You get one. No, it's just like, oh, I like this. You don't have to get mine. That's awesome. But it's But although when I was at Hasbro, they were like, hey, I was like, what does that mean? Did you get all that stuff? So I got some few stuff for them. They really enjoyed it. So.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, things are good.
So one of the things, I follow Ken on Facebook, and you guys can check him out too. Look up Art of Lead Killer. That's his alias, and we'll probably put that on the video down there so people can do it. But Ken is quite the jet setter, and this year you got some new places that you are crossing off the bucket list. So
I'm going to London and Paris, China.
China.
Yeah, I just signed on to that
For a convention.
Yeah,
That's pretty
going
cool.
to China. Last year I went to lots of places. Last year. Oh man, I did a lot last year. What did I do? I went to Australia, Manila, Japan.
So you're more like the international man of mystery now than Jedi here. You're a globetrotter.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, I mean, you get a chance to travel the world, to do some cool stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I bring my kids with me everywhere I go.
Oh, that's amazing.
I took them out of school. They were leaving school for the week and a half, and then I said, well, if I'm going to go to London in 2 weeks, I might as well take them somewhere else. So we decided as a family we're going to Paris.
Go to Paris. Nice.
So it's cool. I mean,
well, that's a worldly education. If they got the opportunity now, you take it, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah. Why not go if you can't get a chance, right?
yeah, for
So
sure.
that's what I'm doing.
So you've been with Marvel and doing comics for years, but what's like seeing where comic books now and comic book culture is? If somebody asked you 25 years ago, would you be going across the globe to draw and to meet people and to push your fabulous art and comics? What would you have said? What would 25 years ago Ken have said to that?
Well, 25 years ago, I was getting into the business, so it was the image guys were still rolling. So, but if you ask me, like the 10-year-old Ken,
Yes.
10-year-old Ken, that would be an interesting conversation because I was the only kid of color in my neighborhood that liked comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone around me was sort of like doing other things, and guys. I was a football guy, so that was another area. A lot of people, even when I was in high school, they were sort of like, "Oh, you like comic books?
You like comic books? Yeah, that stigma, right?
Yeah.
You know.
But I was the captain of the football team, so no one they said that, but it was kind of like,
yeah, not to your face.
you know, a little bit behind. I was a big kid, so. But there wasn't a lot of respect, you know. I was a big kid, so. It's funny now because a lot of these guys hit me up on Facebook and say, "Oh, could you sign this for my son or whatever?" But I remember them in high school; they weren't that supportive.
Yeah.
Right. But it's all good, right? That's how life works, right? You always gotta do what's best for you. You know, it's hard. It's hard to take on
Take
things
the high road
and
too sometimes.
It's hard,
right?
but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I got to travel the world and. You know, meet some really amazing people. My daughter's met some amazing people. And it's because I could draw. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
But that's
I'm not complaining.
the one thing, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize is they don't realize the time and effort and energy that goes into it. And some people say people are blessed, but it's hard work and it's talent and it's motivation. And without any of those ingredients, you're not going to do it. Like there's no easy roads to getting here. Like how many dues did you put in? How many long hours? You know, taking those contracts that you didn't want to take. People, you know, lowballing you, not paying you for work. You know, everybody's done their come-ups, right?
We could have a great story about that too, right? Like there's you know what I mean, like even like Hasbro is an amazing company to work for because the people who work there that I deal with are just good people, right? And that's really what in general what it's about. It's not really about. I mean, it sounds great. I work for Lucasfilm, I work for Hasbro, and all these different cool companies and all that stuff, and it sounds amazing. But really, what it is I have relationships with good people,
Right on.
right? And as they move up, they take you with them, right? So, and you know, I mean, I remember the art director that I work with now. I remember the first day he got hired. I remember when he was like a guy, and I helped him by doing stuff and making him look good, and now he runs the Marvel office.
Nice.
Right? So he's like, "Oh, anything you want, Ken, we're cool, we're buddies," right? That's what I'm saying, you know. And I don't charge every time. If we do a project and it dies or it gets killed on the floor, you know, it doesn't move forward, I don't see that as an opportunity to say, well, here's the bill.
Yeah.
Right? I always go, I don't
We're
worry about
working
it.
together.
I go, I don't worry about it. And then they're always surprised that I say that because the next time they'll, here you go, right? That's how it works. I'm not going to take it now for, you know.
It's almost it's paying it forward, and you know you're working on that relationship, and I think that's.
I've been to these guys' weddings, like we're friends. You know, you hang out with these guys.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's the one thing, and I've known Ken for years, and the coolest thing about him is what he's doing here today. If you go and meet Ken at any convention or anything, he's going to show you his art. He's going to express his love of it, and he's going to pass it on. And what he's doing today and passing out the art and stuff, that's just part of who he is, and that's part of why he's where he is at. It's not about taking advantage and you know, being boisterous. You know, it's about,
You know, I got here today.
spending that time to foster the love. That's the only thing I can say. And I want to pass on the story about where we've been. Just as the store, it's about doing these type of events in community and pushing back. And we're lucky enough to be 17 years in business in July, and I wouldn't have thought. I didn't think about how important the community aspect of it is, but it has been such a nice natural progression. And like you mentioned, going to weddings, I have so many customers that have become family to me, you know, and support us. It's fantastic. So I think it's that circle of life. Ooh, Scarlet Witch, nice.
With the mask on or off? I only do comic book versions. Do I do comic version or want to do movie version?
Comic book version, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can do both. I prefer to do the comic version.
The correct answer.
Yes.
Comic book version. We are in superheroes world.
Superhero world.
Sorry, Lashley's world.
That's Lashley's
I
world.
gotta get used to the new title.
Yeah, new title. Yeah, we will be putting the sign up.
It was pretty amazing. I was at 2 weeks ago, Marvel invited me to be part of the Disney Day at Sea, like the Marvel cruise ship. So I was, we got a free cruise out of it. So I'm traveling the Caribbean, and I'm just talking about my work and drawing. And it's amazing how many people were on the ship that were like, oh my God, because it's Marvel Day at Sea. So like the whole day is all about superheroes and the love of superheroes and all that jazz. It was amazing to be out there. But what was really cool was I thought my talks was going to be later in the week, not the first day. So
They put you to work on the first day of your
no,
cruise?
it's not. Listen, if that's technically work, then you and I have a different.
Yes.
Yeah, I basically had. I was there for. In total, I was there working. I'm doing for 1 full hour for the whole week, with 2 half-hour sessions. It was crazy. So what was great about it, the reason I'm telling you the story is because there was one particular child who was like, he realized I was drawing pictures, and he was like, oh, I got to get one. So I was like, okay, cool, man. And there's 2 sessions. The first session he came, he was really cool, and he was, listening, but he saw the other people got drawings. And he was like, oh, I'm getting one. so the next session, which was like 2 hours later, when I came in, he was sitting in the front. Like, let's go, right? And what happened was I would pick people and out of the audience, and based on your number as you came in, you might get a sketch or not get. But this guy was in the front, and he was so adamant that people were giving him their numbers so that he would have a chance to
have more numbers.
So he held up the numbers like this. And all 4 of them, he was like this. Like, pick one of these, right? So I stopped the talk and I go, this guy really wants a drawing. This guy, and everyone's like, okay. And I went, is it okay if I give him a drawing? And everyone's like, yes. So I did a drawing for him, and it's funny because he hit me on Facebook. His family hit me on Facebook and said, thanks for making the week great, and that's the thing. But what I didn't realize was doing the talk early, people got to know that, oh, that's the Marvel guy. Right. So for the rest of the cruise, every time I walked, they were like, yeah. The doors in the elevator. It was pretty amazing. It was fun. But the family, but that's really what it's about, right? Yeah. When you really think about it.
So, anybody got any questions for Ken?
Probably a very typical one, but out of all the characters, which one might be your favorite to draw?
I know this one.
Colossus is my favorite to draw.
Yes.
Colossus of the X-Men.
Colossus is my favorite character, and if you ever see me, if you notice, anytime I do a Colossus cover, he gets bigger and bigger every time, and he gets more in the middle. Like every time the Colossus was like, yeah, oh yeah, that's my favorite character for sure.
Don't see the downside to that at all.
Yeah, there is no downside.
There is no
Downside to that.
Well, and they're finally tying the knot.
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde and Peter Rasputin. He's doing it.
Yeah, well, it's weird because they, you know these things. I was working on X-Men Gold. And so that was one of the things they put forward to me. But then I got an opportunity to go to DC, so I left before.
Oh, before the wedding.
Well,
I think I hit you over the variant cover. Right?
No. Well, no. I'm not doing anything at Marvel now. But you know how it works. I'm doing Milestone at DC.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So, for those of you who don't know, Milestone was an imprint that DC did mid to early 90s?
Yeah, early 90s. Yeah.
And it showcased superheroes of different ethnicities, and they had a really, really pretty cool run. My favorite character out of that was Hardware.
Mm-hmm. The Static Shock came out of that.
Static Shock, yes.
Shock came out of that. Icon and Rocket.
Icon, yes. Icon was quite badass. So, so that imprint is getting revived by DC, as Ken just mentioned, and. I think it's the same founders of it are coming back too, right? So it's pretty exciting.
They approached me. This is a crazy story, and every time I tell people that, it's almost like it doesn't make sense, but it's how it is. Maybe about 6 years ago, well, maybe about 4 years ago. Actually, 4 years ago exactly. I went to this. There are these different panels at San Diego Comic-Con, and one of them was this panel called the Black Panel. I know it sounds really racist, but it's black. but it's really cool, and they celebrate Black creators. And sometimes they have different people. Shaquille O'Neal was there one year, and I've been on their panel a few times. And so one year they talked about the legacy of Dwayne McDuffie was one of co-founders of Milestone. And they while I was sitting in the audience, I wasn't that year. I was just sitting. I always go there to support them. I was sitting there, and one of the creators, one of the big creators, Dennis Cowan, pointed at me and said, "Don't go anywhere when this is over. I want to talk to you." So I was like, and everyone around me was like, "Ooh, okay." So
What did you do?
Yeah.
right? So after the end of it, he said, I want to tell you that Milestone's coming back, and you have to be part of it. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm working on X-Men. At the time I was working on Superman. And I was like, no, okay, you know, I wasn't 100% keen, but I was kind of thinking that'd be really awesome, maybe, if it works out. So I leave, listen to this, I leave the thing, I go, I'm going to go back to my condo. I'm walking past the condo, and it's really busy. I go, let me go the back way. So I go around, because we're only a block away, but in front of it's really busy. So I walk the back way, and I go around, and we're walking past this restaurant, and this woman walks out, and I look at the woman, and I go, oh, that's Dwayne McDuffie's widow, right? And she looks at me, and she goes, hi, Ken. And I was like, isn't that strange that I would just be asked that, and then I bump into his widow, and my friend looks at me and goes, oh, you have to do it now.
You have to do it now.
Oh, you got to do it now.
Sometimes the world points signs to you, right?
The universe is telling you,
Yeah.
right? So I thought about it, and then that took 4 years for it to all work out. And I was doing X-Men at the time. When they finally got all together, I was doing X-Men. And I said, dude, I'm doing X-Men. This is the love of my life. I can't. And I really thought about it. And I really thought about anybody could draw X-Men, but not everyone can do Milestone. And that's why I decided to do it. So.
And that's where you can make an impact, and you know, even though art transcends all races and boundaries, you're absolutely right. How can you pass up an opportunity to work on something that is going to really...
And Jim Lee called my house.
No pressure.
And Jim Lee was like, hey, man. So Jim Lee was
great.
like, come on, bro. And then I was
Like, what you waiting for?
Yeah. And then I was like, okay.
That is pretty solid. So do we have, can you drop a proxy date on when we can start looking forward to some milestone solicitations and stuff? Soon?
I'll leave it at that. Soon.
All right.
I'm doing this a long time. I'm like,
okay, yeah. So soon. Yes.
Soon.
This way you can't hold him down to that date.
Soon.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, it's pretty crazy.
That's pretty awesome. So who would you draw? Who if hypothetically?
Well, I can tell you what I'm working on because it's already been released.
Oh, it's been all right. Nice.
I'm working on Icon Rocket.
Wow, that is pretty sick.
I'm doing the launch title for the whole thing.
Nice.
It got released in New York City. I did a press junket and all that stuff.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So that's going to be one for you guys to look out for because Icon is the lead of that.
Best work. I mean, so far it's the best work of my career.
Wow.
I could handpick my team. So I handpicked my colors. Handpicked the writing is awesome. You know, Reggie Hudlin is writing it from Black Panther. So us work together. You know, he called me too, and he's like, "Dude, we can't do this without you. You have to do this." I'm like, you guys are putting a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, that's. How do you say no, right? They're stacking the team, right? But that's got to be a great feeling, right?
It was
to
cool.
get to do it.
And Marvel was really cool about it too. They wanted me to say that. Put me a few X-Men books in front of me, and I said maybe later. Maybe some other time. Maybe another time.
All right, I'm going to throw it back out. Any other questions here?
Sure.
What was your favorite thing you ever worked on?
Oh, we got David kicking in here.
Favorite thing I ever worked on? It depends. I have two different things. There's a comic book thing and there's a Star Wars thing. The comic book thing, I would say X-Men Gold. So far, that's my favorite. It was really fun to work on it, and I think. But as an artist, my favorite thing was anything to do with I do Star Wars stuff. So the packaging art for Star Wars Unleashed, I do all that, and one of the things I did, they asked me to do a live drawing event at San Diego Comic-Con in 2011. So I did all the Star Wars movies on a car. That was probably one of my most proud moments because I kept doing it. All these actors were coming by, and it was pretty amazing to work on that job live in front of a room full of comic fans. It was amazing. It took me 3 days to work on it. I wrapped the whole car in Sharpie drawings. It was pretty cool.
And how many Sharpies did you go
34 Sharpies.
34 Sharpies. So if you want to draw over your car, 34 Sharpies is what you need.
That's going to be a trivia question.
Yeah.
The car was featured on the Today Show. It was featured a lot of places. MTV, the front page of the StarWars.com. It was a pretty amazing job.
All right, we had another question up here from in front.
Okay, I was going to say, how long in general are you given to work on, say, cover art, and how long do you actually spend on it?
I'm pretty fast. I can do a book in 9 days, but that's pencil and ink. I don't like to do it that fast, but I can. But I think on average you get about, it covers about 48 hours or maybe 3 days tops, and an issue is probably about, probably about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on who you are.
4 to 6 weeks. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, X-Men was 2 weeks because we're running hot. So, and a lot of issues I did were, I was done most of it in a week. And I think the editor still was like, I can't believe you can draw it that fast. And I go, and he goes, hey, you know what? And he's talking to me, and I go, you know what? This would be a lot faster if you got off the phone. He's like, yeah, okay, all right, bye. I said, yeah, I see it. Dude, we can do this in an email. You know what I mean? Like, it's really interesting. I don't think a lot of them knew how fast I was, right? But I mean, it's one of those things where over the years you learn, you get a shorthand, right? You figure out how to do things. So I think, but I mean, I hate doing it that fast because it's not my best work. But sadly, the fans can't tell the difference. So I guess maybe that's the problem. Right? So
We appreciate it all.
Yeah.
Okay,
When you're
that's
this
cool.
good, they call you Mister, right? So
I don't know. Like I did that cover, like that cover there is one of the covers, and that was probably a 24-hour period. Well, you don't have a lot of time. I mean, and you have other people that are doing their things too, right?
So on that note, let me ask you a little bit about an industry-related question. Ideally, as an artist, would you prefer the old way that one book per month, or how do you feel about the new bi-monthly schedule?
Well, I mean, one of
the
the reasons why I left X-Men was because of the schedule. It wasn't because I don't want to draw the book anymore. It was because they wanted to rotate artists, and I kept feeling like the book wasn't mine. I was like, you do all the covers, Ken, and then every 6 issues is yours. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's like, it didn't feel like mine. So, and they were. I think Marvel's problem, or I think they would love to have me stick around, but they just couldn't figure a way to put me that I would just do a regular monthly thing, right? And I think I think since I've left, that's changed.
Yeah.
But I think that in general, I just want a book that's my own. You want to stamp it. You want it to be you every month. I think the fans want that too.
Exactly. They want consistency.
I think the fans want to say, "Oh, this is whoever. Here he comes every month. There it is." And doing these covers that are amazing and the inside is not as good. I mean, all that stuff is backfiring. I think. I think you want to be able to, you want to sell what's on the cover as that's the inside, right?
Exactly. What you see is what you get. Right?
I remember when I was first starting in comics, I never read a comic book in a store. Because I knew when I was going to get home, I was going to enjoy it, and open it up and go, oh. Nowadays, you got to check. You say, oh, awesome cover. You gotta look inside. Otherwise, you get home and go, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
This guy.
That's part of it, right? So.
Well, I think part of Marvel with their new initiative, they're going, I think, instead of 24 issues, I think they're going 16 to 18 on some of the creators. But I don't think that. I think for the guys to give people the time to really get into that book for sure. Right? So.
There you go.
Thank you
Hey,
very
I
much.
have a question from one of my Facebook peeps. They
Sure.
want to know what type of markers you are using.
Oh, I use whatever's cheapest, man. I'm not. I can tell you a little story. And to be honest with you, what makes you an artist? If you're a race car driver, are you a race car driver only when you get to a certain car, or are you a race car driver? Like if I got into a Honda, I'm a race car driver. So it doesn't matter what markers you use, as long as you get done, it doesn't matter. Like, no editor ever asks me and goes, "Oh, what kind of pen do you use when you're inking my stuff?" They go, "I bought this for $2 at the dollar store, and I scanned it, it inks, it looks just as, it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
I mean, sure, some tools work better than other tools because of what you want to do, but in the end, it's really just about getting the job done, whatever you can afford, just get it done and just get rolling with it. It doesn't, I mean, great, awesome tools, but they're just tools. You know, it's really kind of talent is talent. I mean, or work is work. What's up? Sure.
You probably, I think you already did.
That's okay. Go buy some flies.
Thank you, Ken.
Really good job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ken.
That's all good, man. You want to know what I charge hardware these days? It's all good. They're good people. Flash?
Flash. So who wins that race, Flash or Big Blue?
Flash for sure.
Flash for sure. All right. Yeah, you heard it here. The truth has been spoken.
Why? I mean, he has other skills, but Flash is. Come on now.
Yeah. Flash has one power. He better be the best at it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Three Flashes. Yes. Oh, Flash fan. And Batman. Nice. And some Nightwing. Yes, Nightwing for sure. For sure. All right, so Ken, while you're drawing this this DC Action Comics 1000 cover with the Flash, gonna throw you a bit of a curveball here.
Got it.
So
Go ahead.
you are in the DC universe.
Sure.
You get to take one character from the DC universe
Sure.
and put him into the Marvel universe.
Sure.
And vice versa. Who do you do?
Demon.
Nice.
I'll take Demon and put him and team up with Doctor Strange.
Nice. Gone, oh former man.
Yeah, that's it. And then the other way, I would say I would take the Punisher against Deathstroke.
Whoa.
That's what I would
Yeah, that would be pretty good. But I don't think Frank got a chance though.
Well, I don't know.
Frank's determined and all, but Deathstroke.
Who's publishing the book?
Yeah, true. That's so true. In part 1 of the DC one,
Yeah,
we know
it's
who's gonna win, and then in Marvel ones,
This is how the story actually
works. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's pretty cool.
That's exactly where it's gonna go. I say, they're asking me, who would win? I go, who's publishing?
Who's publishing? The best answer. The best answer. Has there ever been a character that you have thought hasn't, lived up to its potential? Is there a character out there that you would say, you know what, this guy's cool, but they haven't done anything great with him or her?
When I drew Excalibur, Megan's power was amazing, right? And they never really, pushed that character. They just kind of, she was the girlfriend of the guy. And that kind of stuff. But I remember reading a book that Alan Day. I think Alan Davis wrote it too, where her physical body can adapt to any situation so she can survive. And I thought that's awesome. Like there was a part where she went to a toxic world, and everyone was dying, and because of the I guess the acidity in the air, and then her body went like this, and then her body adapted to breathe the air, and she got bigger and she got old, and then she started helping everyone. I was like,
Unstoppable.
I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And then there was a time where she fought Juggernaut, and Juggernaut punched the crap out of somebody, and then she grew to the size of the Juggernaut to take him on. And I went, what?
Yeah.
What? And I remember that thinking, Megan is no joke.
Yeah, Megan needs to be propped up a little bit. I
don't know where she is now. I don't know backstory and all that stuff. But I will say, Megan's one of those characters I thought I'd like to see what happens with her.
Did she marry Captain?
Yeah.
Captain Britain, yeah. But that's what we're saying. She tends to be more the sidekick or the
she
trophy.
crazy
I saw her,
part.
she was in the annual for X-Men.
X-Men Blue or Gold annual?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was in one of the annuals. She just had a kid with Captain Britain.
Ooh. That could be something.
Yeah, I can draw that, so I don't know what happens.
Yeah. All right. So throwing it out. Any other questions from our group of peeps? Matt, you got a question? Matt doesn't know.
You can make up one if you want.
Yeah. No worries. We're throwing you on the spot.
Good.
Well, I gotta say, some of my favorite work that Ken has done is his Star Wars stuff. Being a huge Star Wars fan myself, I still remember that packaging art from Unleashed, and that was just blown away. But recently, you did one from San Diego a couple years ago.
I can tell you something that a lot of people don't know that I worked on. I was one of the concept guys early on for a Force of Destiny cartoon, the shorts.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That is
people were like,
super
what?
cool.
Yeah, because Hasbro approached me about doing it, and I said, yeah, sure. And they had some other people involved, and after I did some drawings, it took a different turn, and it looks exactly like my stuff. Which is cool.
That's wicked. That's so cool. So yeah, Star Wars is a little bit of a passion of Ken's. So if you can't get passionate about Star Wars, then just keep it to yourselves.
That's what I grew up on. It's my thing, right? So. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Everyone has their favorite things. Mine is X-Men, G-Force,
G-Force. Yes.
and Star Wars. Nice. And I worked on all 3 projects last year.
Very cool.
Oh.
So what's I don't know if you, is there a superhero that you have actually never drawn that you can think of? You've wanted to draw. Oh, I'm sure if you wanted to, you probably would have. But is there something that's never come across the table?
I would love to draw an arc of Batman.
Whoa.
I think I've drawn. I mean, I wasn't a big Superman fan, but after I did Superman Doomed, it kind of like I could see why people like it. It took me a while, and I did a couple issues of Superman, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. But I think if it was me, if I got a chance to draw an arc of Batman, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think it might look pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, right?
Maybe.
So
I've drawn a lot of even Dark Knight. Even doing some Dark Knight stuff would be cool. I think that would be something cool. But then if you're talking about DC Marvel related, my thing was X-Men. So I already got that.
You got that, yeah.
I scratched that itch, so I'm good now.
Well, let's talk a little bit. Let's continue on the Batman theme.
Okay.
So we got Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
All right, and he's meeting T'Challa.
Okay.
And he knows about T'Challa, so he has been able to make a bat suit
Sure.
of armor.
Sure.
Who wins? T'Challa, Black Panther, Bruce Wayne, the Dark Knight in armor? Because if he didn't have armor, we know he got no chance.
Well,
So we got the two of them. So we will say that Bruce Wayne, Batman, he has foreknowledge of this.
Okay. So who's publishing this?
So this is going to be published. It's a co-published book
Published book.
that is a one shot, and both companies' labels will be on the cover, and it's a one shot.
So it's going to be a stalemate.
Yeah.
But as a fan, Batman doesn't beat T'Challa. Now, okay, Batman doesn't beat him. Comic book for comic book, T'Challa is he's physically stronger than him, and he has just as much skill because he was trained from birth.
Yep.
Right, but Bruce Wayne is smarter, I would say. So he would probably figure out a way to win.
Yeah.
But I think T'Challa, if you just as a contest of just skill,
Yeah.
he did. Bruce Wayne doesn't win.
Yeah.
What? Are you talking about comic book? You're talking
We're
about
talking
movie?
comic books here.
You're talking movie because what you saw in the movie, that's even the part with him with Bucky, and that was in the comic book. That'd be two blows. It'd be 2 blows. The comic book version of T'Challa is infinitely much more intelligent and more powerful than what they showed in the movie because they got to fix it so it makes more sense. But in the comic book, you remember his first appearance was, "Let me test my skill against the Fantastic Four and beat them, all of them." And then said, "Oh, enough.
Yeah.
I guess I'm able to be king now."
Yes.
That was his first thing. And how he beat Captain America and sent him back. Come on now.
What do you think about the new Black Panther that they're going to go intergalactic?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I always think of this. I wait till I see it before I make any judgments about anything. And I've learned my lessons over the years. Just wait till you see it before you make your judgments. I think that's how it should work with everybody.
Yeah, you got to give it a chance, but sometimes sometimes they do things that make you go,
But then you got to go. Let me go see it first, and let's go, right?
And then yeah. Oh,
Because people, I'm trying to tell people this in the nicest way possible. Like we're all comic fans. The people who work on this stuff are comic fans. If something comes across my desk that is absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, I will say, "This is ludicrous and ridiculous," and it makes, and we'll think about it. Well, I'm not going to just draw it because I'm a professional. I'm just going to draw it. I go, "Hey, this is really dumb," you know what I mean? And that's what happens. So you have to trust the people who are involved with it, that they're fans as well, and nothing too crazy is going to end up on your shelves that'll make you go, "Oh my God," because I got to live with it, right? I got to hear it from the fans. If it's really bad, I got to hear about it, right? So trust me when I say it. Too stupid, it's going back.
yeah, it's going back. Yeah, sometimes you send this back to the editor and say, hey, let's rethink this. Let's change this up. On that note, that's actually a really interesting segue. When you get a script, how much liberty I know it's probably going to depend on who you're working with, but do they
No,
give you a lot
no.
of leeway to
Well, I mean,
to
if I work on a script and the writer doesn't have respect for what I'm going to say, then I won't work on the book.
okay.
Right? That's just, I don't care who you are, because I don't tell a writer how to write it, so no writer's going to tell me how to draw it. So I don't care who they think they are or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just what it is. I mean, I've refused jobs because of the writer. I don't want to do it because they're not respectful of what I have to go through, right? So
Well, that's totally true, because we're looking at comic books as the binding. It's the synergy of words and pictures, and
it's not a novel.
yeah, and you can't, there will never be a amazing comic that has, I hate to say it, mediocre art. If it's not going to make you turn the page,
Then what's the point?
then what's the point? Doesn't matter what nice font they put on or what prose that the person is.
Really? You don't think so?
singing. I don't think it's gonna sell that book, right? So yeah, writers and artists make the book together.
Yeah.
So once you have a team that is working, I call it the chocolate and peanut butter effect, right? They're two great things that go great together. So once they work together, then you've got a very tasty product. Unless you are allergic to peanut butter, in which case you stay away. But you can see where we're going with that. So
But it's really interesting. You don't that doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes you just DC is really really, hey man, they're all about let's working together. Marvel, I think they're getting back to that, but there was a time where I just really felt like, oh, just draw it. You're a pair of hands.
well,
right?
that I think we talked last year on Facebook when unfortunately the creative heads at Marvel had a retailer press conference, and they had the nerve to say that artists don't move the needle. So what that means is
Some
that
artists.
artists don't push the books, and Marvel took a lot of backlash for that comment. But now they're, like I said, they're in a brand new initiative, and it seems like they are trying to do a little bit better by the artists, and really know that these are the guys that are the front line. Like, again, the first thing you see on a comic book is the artist or is the cover. So you can't really be saying
Well, when you hear something like that, all you keep thinking about is why don't they just publish scripts?
yes.
Why don't you just put a script on the cover and see how that sells, right? Like, but it doesn't. That it's a collaborative effort. But then again, who cares? I mean, whoever said that, I could care less. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter to me. But I will say one thing. It's funny because when that goes out, the DC was like, "Hey man,
Come work
for us, bro.
We appreciate
the talent." They did more. That was a big recruiting.
Yes.
They used it as recruiting for a long time. Hey Ken, they say you don't move the needle. Come move the needle over with us, right? And you're like, oh jeez. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, we can't. At the end of the day, we want the best books possible, featuring the characters that we love, and I think we are literally in a superhero renaissance, and that's testament by all the movies and all the merchandise, and you can't go 10 feet without seeing somebody in some type of superhero
Can I tell you?
shirt
Can
or
I
something.
tell you my most amazing thing? I know this sounds so bizarre, and I'm gonna say it. People are gonna go, "What?" I love when I see non-black people wearing Black Panther stuff. Like
Amen.
when I'm in a mall and I'm in the mall and I see all these white guys with Black Panther, I go, "That's cool."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because for years that was only a black thing.
Yeah.
That was a black man's thing. Only people of color wore Black Panther stuff. That's it. And then you see like little kids on the airplane. I saw a little kid in Chicago, full Black Panther
Nice.
costume, and I was like, "That's what it's about, right?" We've been wearing this stuff for years. It's good to see that it's accepted. I think that's amazing. Warms my heart.
Yeah. Black Panther was a very special thing for us.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, there's a couple moments in that movie where I was in tears not because of what it meant to me. That was my first love. My first book that my mom ever bought me was a Black Panther book, and to see it on screen, and to have some of the lines in there, black kid from Oakland believing in fairy tales. I mean, like that line was like, because I was that kid. I was that kid in Canada saying, I want to draw comic books. And everyone was like, I was like, I'm going to draw comic books. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see. It's just amazing to see. And also to see how
how well it's been embraced by everybody.
Yeah.
So it like I said, goes back to superheroes are for everybody. The stories move, transcend color, race, gender, all of that, and everybody here has known that forever. So it's good that the rest of the world is finally catching on, right?
And when you say things like, "Oh, I draw Black Panther," now people go, "Oh, I know what that is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the two that Uatu the Watcher has selected. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.